Hello and welcome to Dario Comics, and today I want to review a book that saved my life, literally saved my life, and it's Walter Simonson's RAGNAROK, Last God Standing. And this is very important because this sets already the tone of the story. It's the big IDW issue number 1. We have issue number 2 right there, but let's start in. And why did it save my life? Because I was diagnosed with some, I don't know, I had some blood issues, maybe something related to leukemia, and I was very concerned about dying, and I was very anxious and had I was like in a haze, like my life will be over soon, and I'm so young, and this is a couple of years ago. And then when I had nothing to lose and I knew I was about to die, or maybe about to die, or couldn't reverse, like my body dying or my blood getting ill, I grabbed this book and I grabbed pen and paper and I started drawing. And then one day or one night this arrived and I started reading this. And while I was reading, I had always I was like in a maze. I couldn't find out, like my head was always concerned, like I don't know if you had such a feeling in your life, but regretting that you didn't really live. And then I started reading this. And for the first time in a couple of weeks, I really, this is really dark, let's see, I started to get out of it, to get my head was somehow, the anxiousness was lifted, and I was happy. And I was happy seeing these drawings. Wait a second, let me get we need a bit more light. And I was reading this and I was getting in a good mood, and I thought to myself, what the fuck? How can you get in a good mood while you're about to die? And I don't know what it was. It was like the drawings, and it was the setup, and it's like a spaghetti western. You have a big battle, and the good guys lose. It's all the gods versus this great wolf and the serpent, and the world plunges into dark. And then you got this dark elves, and they're carrying for a child, a baby, and they're both assassins or master assassins, and they're going out. She's going to ride out to assassinate someone or to lead a pack, and so she rides, and he stays home with a little one. And then there she goes with this ridiculous steed. And she rides off, and he watches her and he thinks, farewell, you well indeed, my love. I will continue I will count the minutes until you safe return, yes. And then she rides off. This is like a western. And then she starts collecting her mercenaries, and she's a highly skilled warrior or assassin, and this is fun. And first she meets one of the evil gods, and they talk what the price is and what she should do. And then she gathers in a bar in a deserted town. She gets her mercenaries. This is a really cool fantasy western. And there she looks amazing. And then she collects all these guys. And then one guy says, oh, I take your gold, bitch. And then she cuts his head off. And so she gets the crew. She rides to where he should go. And this is Thor. This is like Thor and all the good guys. On Judgment Day, they lost the fight, and now he's chained there, and yeah, they go to that mystic place, the whole bunch of bad guys, to kill the good guy that is in chains. And then they get in, and there's like a million traps, and so a couple of them die. But that's cool, because bad guys don't care for other bad guys, and so really ruthless. And then they get to this magical freaking place. Look at this shit, how amazing this is. And then they get to the Chamber of Chains, and there he is. And this is dead, unanimated Thor. But they do animate him, and somehow he gets back his sword. No, it's his hammer. What do I say? And the cool thing is that bad guys always turn on each other, so they try to kill her. Really classic. And then the fighting starts. And I don't want to spoil it for you, because this is really amazing. But then Thor awakens, he gets back his powers, something goes wrong, and yeah, they were warned not to let him free, to kill him while he was chained, but yeah, they didn't. And so he calls Mjolnir. I can't get it. And then he calls it louder and louder. Kill him! And yeah, what can I say? He kills them all. And then, this is very dramatic. I don't want to spoil it for you, but he's a guy. He has heart. And yeah, this is really why this comic is so good, because it has great artwork, great action, great storytelling, great humanity. And then Thor himself goes on, like, look at this. This is what remained of his world, like just apocalyptic shit. And then he goes on a revenge and redemption arc, like in a good fantasy western. And he is equipped with everything he needs. And yeah, and this story was so much fun. It gave me, I don't know what it was, but it lifted me out of my haze that I was about to die. And after that, I found a solution, I healed myself, and now I want to draw comics. And yeah, this is a great comic, check it out. He battles trolls. He sometimes is smart, he's clever, he does the right thing. He's just, he's coming back to put the place back in order. And at the same time, and this is really great, like the Dark Elf is looking for his woman. He's also a very highly skilled assassin, and he possesses also magic. And the cool thing is that here he curses this guy because he just disrespects him. And so he curses this guy, and he gets on his knees. And the woman says, like, how can you curse him? Like, you're above us. How can you say that you're all noble and then treat the poor people like this? And so he reflects on it. Like, he's a classical villain, but then, yeah, forgive me, mistress. Like, this guy is really classy, and that's really great. Like, that's how bad guys should be written. Like, yeah, he has something he wants to fight for, yeah. And he really didn't choose his side, because, like, he's a dark elf, so he had no other side to choose but the dark side. But it's not really the world he wanted to live in either, and that's a great dilemma. And then he goes into the bar, he comes out, and then his blood, he just cleans up his sword covered in blood. Like, this is really beautiful storytelling. Like, you don't have to see all this. You can imagine he goes in, silence, his daughter's waiting outside, and then he comes out and just cleans the sword, and then he rides off. Like, amazing. And I really love fantasy, I really love westerns, I really love Walt Simonson. And Thor, almighty as he is, he struggles because he's the last god standing, and he doesn't know what to do, where to go, but he's killing his way to the truth, and yeah, there he rides off. And it's cool. Like, I guess these are 12 issues in one, and yeah, it's really amazing. Get it. Thor finds his dead woman and his dead peers and buries them, and great things happen. And it's also a story about sacrifice. Like, it's not that things come easy or he kicks everybody's ass. It's not that way. It's really like a real dark and gritty western. Like, every time he wins something, he loses something. And that's really, really cool. Because the story has also some stakes and some really dark tone, like here all this hanging man, and then you see Thor or Ragnarok, and it's really great. So this is all I wanted to say. Get it if you like what you see.